Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Amanda T here on Create Your Future. I'm very grateful you're here. I have a fantastic video for you today all about visualization, imagination, and how to sort of jump to the correct end to receive what you want. At this time, I will intend that you all like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. I do respond to the comments. Sometimes it does take me a little bit. I've been moving a lot of things around, but everything is doing so good. So I will be getting better at that. So without further ado, imagination, visualization, downloads, all of these images that appear in our brains. So first of all, I want to tell you guys something that a lot of times I found that my clients have a hard time visualizing. Honestly, because when they try to visualize their end, it just gets too hard. It's too full of limiting beliefs. It's also not practiced very much. In fact, the other day, my son was at school with they're like 7, 8 years old. And I said, well, just use your imagination. They were asking how to play a game. And it was just, to me, it was an imagination game. But there were no, they couldn't do, what's your imagination? He literally asked, and I was like, that's where you like picture things in your head. And oh, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. But that honestly doesn't surprise me. So there was this study done by NASA. No, I don't have the statistics on it because if I had the type of type A videos I would normally like to produce, we would never get anywhere. We wouldn't get very far. So, but there's a study done at NASA, and they took a whole bunch of children pretty much with a paper clip and said, okay, how do we put this in a rocket ship to get it to the moon? Something like that, about how does this help a rocket ship? And all the kids had a reason. I've tested it with my son. How could we use this in a rocket ship? They all had a way that this paper clip would be very important in a rocket ship. I think it was about 10 years later, they went to the same group of kids with the same question, and only about like 2% had any sort of idea they were like a paper clip. Even me, I'm like, I don't know, like it's got metal in it. So we don't practice it. We kind of abandon it once we're done with our independent play as children. And we really need to start going in here. I'm always in here. I'm like a human VR machine. Like I could pretend I'm Daenerys on a dragon right now in Game of Thrones. I enjoy it. I started as like kind of a maladaptive daydreamer, like one of those things kind of like as a coping thing, but from boredom. So if you can harness it, I'm going to give you some examples and things and build up this muscle. You're going to see that it's a lot easier to attain your goals with the law of assumption and getting the things you want. And it's very simple. We're going to start with actually just manifesting flowers. So when I had stopped consciously creating for a while, it was a couple years. And when I went back to it, I wanted to see what I could do. So I decided to manifest flowers. I decided I hadn't received flowers in a long time and I wanted to get flowers. I was in my kitchen and I just closed my eyes like I'm going to do with you now. So if you're driving, don't do that. But I closed my eyes and I just imagined flowers, like a random bouquet with just like carnations, daisies, just like whatever was in season that I saw like at the local flower thing that's close to my house, right? It's like, okay, it's just a general bouquet. And it was just given to me by like an arm with a hand. There's no person, there's no background, it's black. This is all just in my imagination. And then I feel grateful and happy that I've received flowers. It's nice. I appreciate it. So I grab the bouquet of flowers and I instantly hear like the cellophane, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And then what I normally like to do is you can either imagine smelling the flowers, or I always imagine touching the petals. Like a daisy petal, how soft a daisy petal is, how fragile. And so I just imagine like holding the bouquet, touching the petals, and just feeling the knowing that I have flowers. I got flowers today. Feels so good to receive. Thank you. And that's it. The first time I did that, I got flowers 4 times that week from 4 different bouquets. That was a good week. I was like, ooh. I started manifesting some big stuff after that. Just recently, I was with a client. Well, I say recently, it was about 2 months ago, and I was teaching her to do that and how to build that up. And I said, you know, I've done this with clients a couple different times. I've received flowers, but I go, I want to make it more difficult on myself for you. I want to prove it to you. I said, so I hope she remembers this. I said, I'm going to visualize just getting ranunculus flowers. It's a very specific flower in a very specific color. I said I wanted it to be like the orangey, reddy yellow ones. And the very next day, I received these flowers. They've been drying. You don't see these flowers very often, and they are in the exact color that I requested from the universe. I was at my son's school, and I guess there'd been a production that night or something. And as I was bringing him to his class, there were boxes and boxes of flowers, and they were putting them on the tables for people just take. They do that occasionally. And instead of actually stopping and going through the flowers or even caring, we just went to our next class. We just went to what we were doing. And by the time we were done, by the time we got out of there and walked past, I saw that there were 3 very specific, separately, like a little bit distance between them, bouquets on the table. And one of them was a bouquet of the red, pinky ranunculus flowers. So thank you very much, universe. Very grateful. So I did receive those about 12 hours later. And that was incredibly easy because I didn't need it to come in a certain way. I didn't need a certain person to give it to me. I didn't need it to even be given to me. I picked them up from the table, but I wanted to receive ranunculus flowers. So the universe can bring things in a whole bunch of different ways. So if you're aware and you're consciously creating, you will receive. If I want to be more detailed and start, I'm trying to think of a scenario, like I want this person to bring me these flowers, and that's not really my personality, but I'll try to do that. Maybe I'll make a short on it, and then the next day I can show you when I receive the flowers. But it really is just that simple. I feel so good when I receive flowers. I can smell it. I know sometimes the stems are wet from like being in those buckets. It becomes very real to me. So practice that. Keep practicing that. So if I wanted, for example, SP to bring me flowers, if you wanted SP to bring you flowers, so I live upstairs, so please make this in your own scenario. But say I wanted SP to bring me flowers, I would imagine SP, I would hear the like footsteps up the stairs and then like the head bob and like a grin on his face with like a bouquet of flowers. And then as he comes around the corner up to the deck, and then I would just be so grateful and thankful. Oh, he's got me flowers. He thought about me earlier. I feel so good. And that's what I would imagine also SP is feeling. Like he's just not saying anything. We're not talking, but he's got this big cheesy grin on his face. His eyes are sparkly. Like, look how happy I made her. It makes me feel good when she feels good. When I've done good, I did good. You know, he's kind of patting himself on the back like, oh, such a good man. Because people do. That's the point of giving, is it makes you feel good when you do good for others. So I would imagine, I'm not going to imagine like, oh, maybe we've had a fight, so I want apology flowers. And I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying that this is about just getting what you want without limiting beliefs and practicing that visualization until you can be very specific. But I like to leave the specificity out. I just like to receive, let the past be the past, receive your flowers, move on with your day. Have a great day. Enjoy it. So after flowers, let's talk about the job. I got the glue to fix my cut, but I haven't done it yet. So with the jobs that I have applied for in the past and present, I didn't imagine like the interview process. I didn't imagine anything like that or anything that could be a challenge in my goal. So I would imagine knowing that the job's available, or I have the knowledge that the job's available, I then have to take action and apply for said job. And then I would also imagine after. I don't imagine the interview process. I don't imagine any of those things, the how. All that detail, that doesn't matter. The universe will take care of that and it'll work out. You'll get through, because it's really hard to imagine, especially if you don't know. Like the first time I worked in casinos, every time I've interviewed, it's been a little bit different. So I didn't even know how. But I would imagine either being offered the job and me saying, yes, thank you, Or I would imagine walking through the doors, like in my suit or something like that, and knowing that I'm going to work there that day. Or when I imagined with Create Your Future, I imagined making videos for all of you and the topics that I would talk about, and how much gratitude that brought me, that was something I got to do every single day. So all I would imagine is, this is the type of job I want, or where I want, the location, who I want to work for, know that I'm good enough. Know that you're good enough. Mental diet for that later. And then seeing the end. And then enjoying that, feeling really good about it. I knew I wanted that job. I knew I was good enough. And I got it. And I did it. And no one can take that away from me. The reason I said is because with jobs, sometimes, like in my insecurity video, I feel like sometimes people don't always reach for their true passion goals. So let's say you want money, like you want to win the lottery. There was a very specific, I came so close to winning a huge lottery, and I just kept on no. I was so in that timeline. I even like showed up to that door unexpectedly. I was like, oh my God, I'm here. Anywho, the point is when I imagined winning the lottery, it was actually for other people. It's, if I have this much money, what could I do with it? Not for me. I don't need a new phone, even though I have no idea what generation iPhone this is. I don't care. I would write things with a quill. Like, I don't have a lot of things I want that I don't already have, or if I don't care about them. So when I was thinking about my phone. I was like, damn, it is an old phone. But when I imagined winning the lottery, it was about how I could help out my mom and dad, how I could help out my family, how I could build up other people, organizations I would be interested in trying to build up something, charitable organizations where I could just donate money, buy land, and then give them land and stuff like that. I thought about all the good I could do in the world. I thought about all of the dreams that could come true. I thought about how much easier just life can be. Money makes life easy. So, if I want a lot of money, it's the same as the flowers. I just imagine it, I receive it, I feel really good about it, and I release. I don't add attachments like addendums or amendments, like on like when they try to pass a bill and it's got like 131, like the bill is like a paragraph or something. I'm probably saying this wrong, but it's like a paragraph, and then it's like, and we've attached this. Wait, what were we talking about? I forgot. It's just pure. It's just pure and radiates in and it radiates out, because everything is happening through you, not to you, not around you, not back there. It comes through. So when I imagined a lot of money and a beautiful place, my parents have always talked about New Zealand. I doubt they will move anywhere from where they grew up, but I imagined buying them a beautiful, like, floor to ceiling windows overlooking the sea in New Zealand, and them just get to spend. My parents have been through so much, like so much. And I also do not like New Zealand. But so it's like, okay, I'll visit though. I like it there. And I imagined them living there, enjoying their lives, like how happy they would be to spend their time doing what they wanted to do, and me getting to jet set and just visit them whenever I felt like it. And it made me happy. So I saw the picture, I visualized it, I imagined it, and I felt so good about it. And then I just released it. Oh, one thing I want to address that I just saw in my notes before I go is like a download. There are things I'm going to do more in an intuition video, in an intuition video. But because downloads can happen visually, so like when I received the $1,000 for the dressers, I was poking around in my brain to create. I want this. How do I get that? Kind of shake it loose. And then it just plopped in my head like a stone into a puddle. It was like, here you go, plop. Okay, cool. I like that. Normally when you get a download, I would suggest going for it, saying, yes, that's great. I like that. Oh, that's true. Not all of them actually really come true for my experience, but then I don't always go that direction. Sometimes I do an about face or I do something else. I have free will, I have free choice. But if you get a download, don't say, oh, that would never happen. Or, yeah, right. I wouldn't disparage it. I would say, God, wouldn't that be cool? That's exciting. Or don't judge it at all. Just walk away from it. But if you visualize and then it's like, oh, that would never happen. Sorry, I heard something outside. But so if you're visualizing and then you're saying, oh, that would never happen, I would definitely suggest coaching. I would suggest doing the things like the flowers, to coworkers, to this, to that. Start building up that muscle, start building up the belief in your own power, and let the visualizations become stronger and try to make sure that it feels real. Okay. I hope this all helps. I intend that it does for everyone. I love you so much. Bye-bye.